everyone, and welcome to this first lesson. Being able to multiply by 10 is a crucial skill that we need in many sections in mathematics. If you don't know it well, it makes other areas more difficult than they would normally be, so it's worth spending time on. We'll be using our first power tool, which is patterns. The pattern is similar when we multiply numbers by 100 and 1,000, so we're going to cover those skills in this lesson too. I'm going to use a clock to help us visualize the patterns. Let's go and take a look. We must remember that our 10 times table is exactly the same thing as counting in tens. Now, I'm going to fill in the answers around the clock, and I want you to see, as I'm counting in tens, if you can see a pattern emerging in the answers. Okay, let's have a look. 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm sure you can see a pattern that's starting to emerge every time I multiply a number by 10. Can you see that all I have to do is add a 0 onto the number that I'm multiplying? And that's what this little quick trick is over here. Anytime you multiply a number by 10, all you do is add 10 onto the number. Now this applies to any number, whether they're big, whether they're small. So if we look at these two at the bottom here, 17 times 10, all I have to do is add 10 onto 17. So my answer is 170. 25 times 10, all I do is add 10 onto 25. So my answer is 250. Now there's a very similar pattern that happens when we multiply numbers by 100. Let's quickly look at those. We're going to do the same thing that we did with multiplying by 10. I'm going to fill in the answers. Remember, it's the same thing as counting in hundreds. And I want you to see if you can see a pattern emerging. So 100, 200, 300, 400. Can you see the pattern? This time it's not 10. Can you see what's happening? Okay, I'm sure you noticed. This time, because we're multiplying by 100, remember 100's got 2 zeros. Our quick trick over here, we would add 2 zeros. Okay, so remember that can also be applied to any number. So if we look at these two down here, 18 times 100, all I have to do is add 2 zeros onto 18. So my answer is going to be 1,800, 36 times 100, I just add 2 zeros onto 36. So the answer is 3,600. Now the same kind of pattern happens when we multiply by 1,000. So let's quickly go and have a look at that. I'm sure you've already guessed what this quick trick is going to be. I'm not going to fill in all the answers on this clock this time. I'm just going to fill in a few. 2,000. 5,000, 9,000, 11,000. Can you see what happened this time when I was multiplying by 1,000? All I did was I added 3 zeros onto my number. And that's because 1,000 has got 3 zeros. And remember, we can apply it to any number. So if we look at the bottom here, 15 times 1,000, I add 3 zeros onto 15. So I'll get 15,000. 42 times 1,000, I just add 3 zeros onto 42. So my answer will be 42,000. Okay, now that you know the pattern for multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000, it's time for you to try a set yourself. There's a few examples here for you to try, and you can see they're all mixed up. Some of them are 10, hundreds, and thousands, all in a different order. So be careful. Read the questions carefully. Just remember the pattern when you're doing these, and then you should be okay. Right, what you're going to do, pause the video, work out the answers, and then come back to the video to check if you're correct. Let's check your answers. Although this is a really simple pattern, if it's new to you, make sure you keep practicing it until you're completely comfortable with multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000. Once you've got the skill wrapped up, join me in the next lesson on dividing by 10. I'll see you there. This lesson comes from the Tables Training That Packs a Punch series. The full series with practice exercises and bonuses is available from aligerous.online. Click the link in the description below.